I'm an incoming junior at Wilcox High, and for my starter project, I did the Simon Says game. So in this game, the player is shown a series of flashing lights, and they have to press the corresponding buttons in the correct order in order to win. This was done using the Arduino, so it's a perfect segue into my main project, which was the Raspberry Pi game emulator. So how it works, you download the game files of Retro Games, called ROMs, off the internet, and you could transfer these files over to the Raspberry Pi. And using the RetroPie framework, which emulates different consoles such as the Game Boy or the Nintendo 64, you could play all these games. I was inspired by this to create my own game, so I did in Python, and I used the Pygame module to do this. So would somebody like to volunteer and play against me? How about
Come on, it's not too bad.
It's not very, yeah. All right, we have one over here.
Okay, so it's a two-player game in which the first player, they could choose like their character, so like what would you like? Okay, so I could be the trickster. So the player uses WASD or arrow keys to move. And the point of the game is to get the other player's health to 0. So my unique twist to the game is that you move in the opposite direction in which WASD. You move in the direction in the opposite direction in which you shoot. And each class has a specific ability. So the trickster, he teleports every 5 seconds. Also, when you go against the walls, you take damage. And the point of the game is to get the other player to 0 health. So yeah, don't go against the wall. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one thing I learned from this was how global variables work in Python. So for example, say I initialized a variable outside of any function called Bob. And if I wanted to get this value, which I assigned outside of any function, inside a function, and I just said Bob, Python would not recognize this as being the same variable. So in order to do this, you have to write the tag global Bob inside this function for Python, in order for Python to realize this. One struggle I had with this game was trying to get a controller to work with it. I was able to read in the inputs easily, but interpreting the data I was getting from the controller was quite hard. So for my next modification, I would like to get the controller to work, and also to potentially create an AI so the player can play against a computer. So coming to Bootstrap, I'd always done coding, and I wanted to try something more hardware related. But after my experience with the controller, I think I'd like to stick to coding. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
So you said you were trying to use hardware before the keyboard, and it didn't work out, and you went with the keyboard, or this was the hardware that you were using?
Well, so initially I coded it so that it would be just keyboard. Then I wanted to connect it back to the retro kind of feel by having controllers. So the controller, I was able to get the inputs to work. The program could recognize that the controller is getting pressed, but taking these values that I was getting and the modules that were associated with the controller wasn't compatible with my code.
But if you think if you had more time, you could have figured it out.
Yeah, so that's the point. That's what I'm planning on doing. So.
How did you program a different player?
So initially I had hard-coded 2 characters, but I wanted to expand on the game, so I have 6 or 7 characters, which I do have now. And in order to do this, I had to use the classes aspect in Python, and that's basically a blueprint for any sort of character you want to build. So after creating the class for each player, it took only 10 minutes to create another character, and along with the time it took me to create the sprites of each character.